Hi, it's Ricky Moshville
Oh,
Times you
in
once again.
progress.
Now, tonight, ladies
Sorry,
and
mate, I fucked
gentlemen,
that
we've got
up.
Scottish heavy rockers 6 Year Silence. So, tonight we've got vocalist Johnny, we've got Ian on drums, and finally we have Greg. I am on the hard stuff tonight. Orange juice for me, please. Sills. But unfortunately, bassist Gary couldn't be with us tonight because unfortunately he's babysitting. But thanks for. Sorry for fucking disturbing you, mate. I mean, you've only known about an interview for a wee while, but never mind. But hi to you guys that are here. How the devil are you?
Good,
Good,
mate.
good.
Brand
Aye.
new.
Fan fucking tastic.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Birthday tomorrow. Having a couple of Jack and Cokes with some good guys, and let's see what we can find out about
Uh,
you. See whether you can give us a wee Moshville exclusive here and there, and all the rest of it. There are some questions that I do know the answer to, so I'm going to pretend I don't know the answer. So you're going to have to tell us it all to all the people that will watch the video. But I don't normally do this, I'm afraid. I have to start off this interview with a complaint.
Ooh.
Because when I do my prep, I like to do prep when I do interviews. And I thought, you know what, I'll have a wee look at their shop and see what I can do there and find out wee details there to discover that it's closed. So there's something wrong with your link. So if you all go onto your Facebook and you click on the link, your Facebook, your shop is closed.
Oh, that's
Right, Ian, I'll be on it, mate. I'll get it.
Can it be somebody bought something off it like last week?
Well, I tried 2 or 3 different avenues to get in your shop.
But we just blocked you, that's why.
With what? I was actually going to buy something, but tough. That was the one time I was going to buy something from 6 Year Silence.
Nah, it wasn't.
When were you? When did you try and get onto it?
Just about an hour ago.
Don't know. So I posted something for somebody that they bought like a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
It's not been touched since, so we'll need to look into that then.
Yep.
Need to look into that. Technical
Yep.
difficulties.
So that's a good way to start this interview. So good. But first of all, before we get into a wee bit more 6 Year Silence, before we start the interview, you guys are not long off another UK tour with Linkin Park tribute band. So how was the tour overall for you? Because if my memory serves me right, most of the gigs, if not all the gigs, were pretty much sold out.
Yeah, the touring with the guys is absolutely magic. They, as I said, they keep getting bigger and bigger, and venues keep getting bigger. The crowd also keeps getting bigger, which is magic. So again, the first time we done a wee tour with him, we started in the Cat House and then done a few wee
Yeah.
slots around the UK, which were great venues. You know what I mean? They all sold out again, but this time round, it was the venues were massive, but no massive, but
Yeah.
you know, it was a fucking great big venue in comparison to what it was the previous years.
Yeah. I mean, to go from like a couple of hundred to what the garage is, what, 450, 500, if not a wee bit more.
700 the garage.
750.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that means that must have been prime opportunity for you guys to sell a fuck ton of merch, and I hope it was a successful tour for you.
Aye, we did really well merch wise. We went out with a full batch of like two batches of t-shirts, and one of them is pretty much completely gone, but like 1 or 2 t-shirts left. All our beanies are pretty much gone. It was great. We done really well merch wise, and
Yeah.
we've never had so many people want us to sign t-shirts, which we never knew was hard as fucking hell to do. Johnny just likes to draw bobbies on people's t-shirts, so
That's why
My
my
fucking
that's,
signature.
that's why my signature's just up and down lines because it makes it super easy to fucking sign a t-shirt.
nightmare,
Right.
man.
Yeah, the drummer is always minimal effort, is it not?
That's
So,
exactly. I may work smart, no hard.
ab- absolutely. But I'm glad it was really, really successful for you. And I did catch you at the Glasgow gig. So, but we will bring up a topic or two about that Glasgow gig in a wee minute. But obviously, one of the main reasons for this interview is that on October the 19th, you're going to be playing Glasgow Moshville Rocktoberfest. You're headlining it. What I do,
Yep.
I'll be doing for the next couple of weeks is just interviewing every band that is on the bill. So, firstly, thanks so much for saying yes and making the very long trip up to Glasgow to play. I was just wondering what number of bus that you're going to be getting to get into the gig.
It's called the back of Ian's car.
Please tell me it's ULEZ compliant.
Eh?
Please tell me it's ULEZ compliant.
Oh, aye,
Oh,
is it?
aye.
Aye, aye.
That's all right then.
Absolutely.
That's all right
It's
then.
only, I think it's only one of two cars that band actually has that is. That's a good get out clause now for some folk. Oh, I can't drive in there because my car can't go into the.
I bet you the first person that said that was Johnny.
No.
Hey, wasn't he? I bet I'm the one that turned around. So he said two cars can go in. There's three cars that can go in. Mind you, Disney, because I'll be drunk and I don't want to drive.
That's true, aye. That's true. Sorry, we should have actually said that. It needs to be whether it's actually compliant with the alcoholics of the band, that's all.
To be fair, again, when I was access all areas a few weeks ago at the garage, it was disgusting behaviour that I witnessed. Absolutely disgusting. I thought these were professionals.
From you?
Excuse me. It was me that had to run out to the shop to buy us another bottle of Jack. I got one nip out of that and I never saw the bottle again.
I heard you only get one word in as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But I think this is the longest question I have ever asked any band. So since it's been 3 years since your second debut album, did you see what I've done there? You guys must be fed up playing the same songs over and over again. So it's been a long time coming, but you guys were resurrected in 2015. You released an album in 2021, and I wondered if you guys were turning in a doom metal band and releasing your next album in 2027. But I'm also aware that you released the brilliant EP Resurrected in 2023, with the title track being my personal favourite. But my question to you is this. When are you going back to that wee cottage in Inverary and getting some fucking writing done?
I'd love to go back to that wee cottage.
It's funny, I drove by that on Sunday afternoon, and I was like, I really want to go back in there. It was fucking a great wee place. Although we do have our own studio now, so you'd think, we'd have a lot more out. But as I said the other day, it's not stopped us from writing. We are still writing. We've still got a lot of stuff there that just needs recorded and put out. We'll just try to be a bit.
I mean, I know that we've talked about it. We had an interview on the radio station on Thursday there. But again, it's a separate audience. So are you thinking of doing, Ian, are you thinking of doing another EP after Resurrected? Are you thinking of concentrating on an album? Or you don't want to wait? You don't want to do the 10 songs? You want to split it in half? What are you thinking of doing?
I think we kind of talked about I think what they're kind of calling a waterfall release now, in terms of trying to, obviously as an original band, you need to try and stay as sort of what's the word I'm looking for? Relevant as possible, relevant and kind of in people's faces as much as possible. Now everybody's attention spans is so short now that the minute you stop posting it on social media for 5 minutes, you just disappear. So we Johnny and I in particular are we love the whole album thing, make a CD, all the artwork and all that kind of stuff, but we are kind of forced to realise now that unfortunately that's not really the way to do it anymore. We probably still would put the songs together and probably still will at some point, I'd imagine, but I think what we were talking about was releasing a couple of singles as often as possible to just stay in people's focus.
Yeah, giving every song the same amount of, promotion and get it out there the exact same, doing wee videos, doing an actual video, doing TikTok videos, keep pushing it again. I keep talking about TikTok, but TikTok's fantastic when it comes to this kind of stuff.
So who's the social
media as well? Was that?
Who's the social media whore that takes care of this then, the TikToks and whatnot?
That's me.
Not through choice.
I don't mind it. I actually quite enjoy it. It's good. Although it is again, it's just hard because we're not on the road as much as we'd love to be, and so you've got bands that when they're out on the road all the time, they've got hundreds and hundreds of content. So our imaginations are running wild, and we're all sending each other videos. Oh, we should try this, and we should do this, and what about this, and try and meet up and film these videos, and to try and just come up with stuff to keep it going as much as possible. So when we're on tour, we're 9 times out of 10, we're all get our phones out, filming. Well, many of our phones out, filming as much as possible. But after a few drinks, we kind of forget to do that.
Absolutely. But it's like you say, mate, people's attention spans, if you go into your Spotify and you play a song and stuff, you discover new bands, but you listen to a riff for 6 seconds, doesn't do anything for me, and you instantly dismiss the band and you move on. You don't listen to any other material, which is a shame. But yeah, I was looking at your Spotify playlist earlier on as well, and you guys have got a good number of monthly listeners as well. But maybe that's the best way to do it. You don't know whether maybe a mixture of the old school and the new school, like you say, releasing a single every couple of months, video, whatever. But at the end, release the album. You know, people want a hard copy of the product. People want to see the lyrics, the artwork. You just don't
And they
know what's
still,
better.
The thing as well about doing that is like I think it kind of forces you to make sure every single song is an absolute killer, is single worthy. Because if you've got a full album, there's normally one or two tracks in there that are filler. They really are. Do you know what I mean? But if you're going to put every single one out as a single, it has to be an absolute belter of a song. So
Yeah.
it makes you write better. And I think that makes for a better album if you do put it all together as an album at the end of the day.
the hard copy thing is a big thing as well. Like I'm sure Johnny and Greg get this, but I get asked all the time, like, why are you still selling CDs? And I'm like, because people still buy them. We sell them constantly.
We still
Like,
sell them, aye.
we sell them every time we play gigs. There's always people buying CDs, and we have to
Yeah.
reorder them all the time. And it's like people, especially I think rock and metal fans, still love a CD or like a vinyl, like absolutely.
Absolutely.
And I don't see why you wouldn't have it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've got a CD player in my car. And I've got a £25 stereo from Argos that's got a tape deck. So I'm getting my old tapes out again. And I'm playing like Number of the Beast 1982. It's all yellow. All the songs are scraped off it because I played it that bloody much, you know. So yeah, I'm back for the old nostalgia. And especially when Scotland now has its own vinyl pressing plant. Like Seabass. So I don't know if that's something that you guys would love to do in the future and put your album into vinyl as well.
I'd love
But I
that.
think we spoke about that
Yeah.
for years. We spoke about that for the very first CD as well. But it was just
It's
far too expensive.
stupidly expensive. Plus, especially now
mental,
because
yeah.
they're so popular, the waiting list for a vinyl is ridiculous to get them
Well.
printed. Absolutely ridiculous.
Well, when I interviewed the breeding method, I told them about Seabass, and they actually have the costs on their website, and he was absolutely gobsmacked at the costs. I better not say it live on air, but there's a good profit margin. Let's put it that way, and I would urge you to have a look. But yeah, fair play. It's just the old ways are coming back. Old school's the future.
I heard tapes are coming back.
Tapes are coming back big time with them.
I heard tapes are coming back. Better get the old pen out so we can rewind it and all that, eh?
It'll be MIDI disc next.
Do you remember if you
Oh.
don't like it, you can just put
No.
silent tape over the top and just record over it.
Aye.
Those were
That's
the
where
days.
Johnny got most of his porn.
Yeah. But what would you say you learned from the recording of Resurrected after the King of the Clown? Is there anything that the way that you're going to take forward, or have you guys found a settled formula and you're going to use the same studios, the same experiences, or are you guys quite willing to try different scenes and recording studios and different producers and things like that, or have you got the settled formula already?
Yeah, I mean, the guys record the music together. Myself, I go up to Perth to Liam from Mishima and I record vocals with him. And he kind of produces and mixes and masters all the tracks for us.
Yeah.
And we quite like it that way because the guy is absolutely fantastic, knows exactly what he's doing. But I quite like going to him and recording vocals. I quite like that idea. So
Do you call him different names though by the end of the session and stuff like that? Does he keeps on pushing you and pushing you and pushing you, or do you actually he's like the sixth member of the band?
You need to go back and look at some of the videos, man.
I've got behind the scenes footage somewhere. It's either on Instagram or something that Johnny tried to record vocals, and it's fucking hilarious, man. Like at times it's just like it could be just in the middle of this big screaming, and he's just like fuck. Just goes absolutely nuts. It's good stuff. But I think you like going to Liam as well because obviously Liam was a vocalist in Nishima, and the two of you bounce ideas off each other as well. So it's like when you're going there, obviously you've got us there at times, but because he is a vocalist and writes lyrics, you've got him to the two of them start like, well, what if we did this or what if that happened? So it's great that way as well.
Definitely work well together, and he's a very talented guy. So
Yeah.
it's yeah, I really enjoy going up there.
Yeah. So I take it gives you like wee subtle changes here and there, like he tells you to scream louder or get lower or even alter your lyrics here and there.
But yeah, I mean, he definitely pushes me. You know what I mean? He definitely does push me, which is good because I like that. You know what I mean? He doesn't like the fact that I give him dogs abuse for doing it, but it definitely does pushes. And there's a lot of things we do, kind of changing bits up. There's wee bits in tracks that are kind of stuttered and cut up and stuff like that vocally, where
Yeah.
the two is working at that time and just come up with these strange ideas, and it seems to work. There was a couple in Resurrected actually,
Yeah.
and King to a Clown as well, because it is actually called King to a Clown, just
Yeah.
so you're aware. But but yeah, there's a lot of things like that that we
Do you
kind
know, I
of
still get a wee bit excited because I'm talking to you guys. I'm impatient because I'm telling you, like, get more fucking material done, get it out there because we want to hear it. So,
I think
It'll be
it's
there, man.
it's
It'll be
coming.
there soon.
there
I
is
mean,
well,
there is
we're not far off. We're not far off. We've got a couple of songs that are pretty much done. A couple of things have to change in them, and they'll be done. And they just need mixed.
so what would you say the subtle differences are for the couple of new songs to Resurrected?
I don't know.
That's
I
a hard
don't.
one, isn't it?
It's, to me, I said this to you in the interview. I can hear my influences in it more now
Yeah.
compared to
Aye.
before. Don't know if it
Aye.
makes the sound of the band any different, but I can just hear my kind of nuances and that coming into it. But I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't say it's any heavier. I don't know. Actually, some of the stuff I've got recently is, I would say, it's pretty heavy to me anyway.
Some of the riffs are a lot
Aye.
heavier than normal.
I think there's been a few times that there's a few times it was just literally me and Greg like, in the studio,
Yeah.
and we were like, right, well, it's just the two of us, so what would we do? Like, and we sit and we'd try and come up with stuff. So it's like Greg would come up, and then so obviously because compared to like Resurrected, where a lot of it was already done, this time it's me and Greg, or me and Greg and Gary and Johnny or whatever, all bouncing ideas off each other.
Yeah.
So like a lot of the time, Greg was way more heavily involved in this as well. Like and like literally sitting. I think there was one time we were trying to write a chorus for something, and it was frying our nut, and I went down to the toilet and come back up the stairs, and I was like to him, "Yeah, do this, go, like humming this tune," and he just like plucked it out of thin air, like exactly what we were talking about. Don't know how anybody else would have done that, to be fair, but it was just like we were like, "That's it, that's it." So,
Pure fluke.
oh,
That's what
absolutely,
it
like
was.
literally
No
sitting on
talent,
the
pure fluke.
like, escaped the room, sitting on the pan for 5 minutes, and I was like, "Oh." No,
Wishing you had the run so you can go upstairs and tell him what you were thinking.
no, it could be a lot quicker, aye. But no, I think we definitely, I've noticed that it definitely worked really well together, and we're into a lot of the same bands and stuff like that, and I really enjoy the kind of writing sessions like that as well.
Yeah.
Like, it's really good. We're not really a massive like, it's dead weird. We're not really a massive like write together in a sort of live
Yeah.
element band. Like we'll tend to come up with basic ideas and then run through that live rather
Yeah.
than just jamming stuff. It's a bit different, I suppose.
I
How
don't
often
know.
do you have to meet?
I think most bands are like that now.
Yeah.
Aye, aye,
I think most bands write at a computer and then jam it live afterwards.
aye.
So is it a case of like you don't really meet much? Like the days of like going to rehearsals once or twice a week every fortnight are gone. It's just a case of sending MP3s to each other and then you only get together when you're going to record something or you're rehearsing for a gig.
We still do it. We've got one in studio as well. You know what I mean, which is good for that. But
We're in once a
aye,
week. So
Are you? Right, cool.
yeah,
We don't meet as
there's
often
the
as we'd like to, put it that way.
Yeah.
yeah. There has been a lot of things coming up, gigging and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
kind of preparing for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that kind of throws off the whole, writing together kind of process. But yeah, they still get in once a week and do some stuff.
Yeah.
I think no matter how like I think they kind of emphasize on that as well is no matter how much we've played together and gigged together, we still like to be sort of match fit. So if we've got a gig coming up, we'll pretty much put everything else to a halt for like at least 4 weeks, 5 weeks before it, and
Yeah.
just rehearse the set like week on week, just to make sure we're totally happy with everything. That's how sometimes as well, I suppose, like writing and stuff takes a bit longer
Yeah.
because we're like, right, we've got this gig coming up or this tour coming up. We need to focus on that now, and because we obviously like to focus on not only the music but the show and all that as well. So it's like we're totally focused on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I was going to ask, it's good to hear that you still meet up like once a week and things, because I was going to ask, was there ever a time where you're thinking this isn't going to happen? Was there a couple of months of just radio silence? There was just no new ideas, there was no riffs, and thinking we're not going to get a next release, but it is pleasing to hear that you get together regularly. Or I see Johnny smiling, something that must have been happening.
No, I don't think there's ever been like radio silence and nothing's been happening. We don't think there's been anything. I think just sometimes we've hit kind of blocks. We've had like
Yeah,
even like 6 or 7 different ideas with songs, and we've just kind of hit blocks and we don't know where to take them. And it's taken a couple of weeks away of just one, we'll just jam and we'll just muck about, or we've got a gig, we'll concentrate on that and come back to them. And then we start progressing on them again. But I don't think there's ever been a point when we've got nothing here. We're dry. You know what I mean? I think we've always been all right that way.
Yeah, we've still got a Dropbox full of original ideas as well. We keep getting back to and taking wee bits and using them later on. But see what you're saying, there's still a lot of stuff there that just hasn't been worked on. So
well, that's what I was going to say. Like,
I don't think we can ever go track.
was there some stuff from Resurrected that wasn't used that you're using for the new material? Is this all brand new material? Resurrected was the closing of a chapter. This is all brand new material.
To be fair, Resurrected wasn't supposed to be only the 5 songs. There was actually a few more other songs that was going to be on that.
Yeah.
But we chose these ones, then we'll do something after it with the other ones.
Yeah.
I think the songs that we missed out though, I might remember this completely incorrectly, but I think we felt they weren't as strong as the 5 we had. And it was like we knew how long it was going to take to get them up to standard. We were like, why don't we just get out these? We just felt we had to get something out, and those songs are really good. So if anything comes from the songs that didn't make it, it'll probably just be parts. I can't see it being the full versions of those songs. It'll just be parts of them.
Yeah,
because that falls back to the whole thing. Like me and Johnny pure love the album thing, so that was like a proper bite the bullet moment for us, like us two in particular, because we were like, we need to do this album. But what we found is what Greg was saying is when we've recorded the first 5 tracks, we recorded the first 5 that we thought were the most finished and the best.
Yeah.
And then somebody was like, when we were trying to record the other ones, like as whole songs, we were so much more like lackluster about it. And the excitement had sort of been like, we were like, these are just, the first 5 we were like, oh, fuck, let's get fucking this done and let's do that. And this is coming together amazing. And then the next ones we were like, a bit like pulling teeth a wee bit. Some songs are just like that. Like we've got a riff at the moment that every single one of us loves, but the try to come up with an actual whole song for it is a bastard because we're just all like we cannot see that how we want this to go, but we want to do something with this riff. But it's just, and then some of them just fall together. Sometimes you're in the studio and like 20 minutes, half an hour, and you're like, oh my god, that sounds amazing. Like, and
that's what happened with the actual tune Resurrected.
Yeah,
that just kind of fell into place really quick.
Yeah.
Well, maybe all you need to do is go and have another shit, and it'll fall into place very, very quickly.
We've had a minute,
right? No, good stuff. But I mean, I was at a gig on Saturday, and obviously I was speaking to folk, and my voice at the end of the gig was absolutely gone. I was training today in primary schools, and my voice was gone. But Johnny, for you, when you done the UK tour with Linkin Park, 6 or 7 dates, whatever it was, how was your vocal cords? How did you keep it? How did you look after your vocal cords?
Jack's Johnny's best friend.
A lot of Jack Daniels.
Do you know what's quite funny is because I had
also vocal zone.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I had a vocalist stay over at mine on Saturday night, and he brought out the Vocal Zone tea.
Yeah, I've got the tea, man. My favourite's a Manuka.
Right, cool.
The yellow one. It's magic. Got a wee endorsement with Vocal Zone, so I always get.
Well,
Something to
funnily
the
enough, the
posters.
vocalist was saying like he's not had anything from them in a wee while, so he maybe needs to email them again. No, but I mean, I've interviewed Jason from Ingested when they were in Glasgow as well, and he just opened his suitcase and it was like T T T T T T. It's great that they've done it. Great that they've done it. So many people use it. But do you just have that on like before you go on stage? Do you do your do re mi fa sol la ti dos, or like
No,
do you
no,
do a
really. If
couple
I'm
of
honest with you,
grills or anything like that?
I think I might shout to Ian a bit to warm my wee voice up, but
Yeah.
I don't really warm up as much as I should probably warm up.
Yeah,
But I have like the very first tour we ever did, we my throat get absolutely fucked, and for for before the next gig, I was just overcompensating with everything, and I definitely overdone it, and it just completely fucked my voice even more.
yeah.
So my wee trick that I did after that was I didn't speak until midday. I was out with a voice in a wee voice thing that put up to people's ears, so you know what I was saying. But to be fair, that was actually that was really hard because I came off tour with Uproar at the time, and then went straight. I had a day here, and then
Yeah,
went straight into tour with Titan Breed.
yeah.
So I had to do something, but the whole not speaking till midday helped. I didn't really do it much at this tour, but I did drink a good bit of Jack Daniels. I had some Manuka
I can vouch for that,
honey
ladies and
tea,
gentlemen. There
and
was a good
when
amount,
there definitely was it, and that was only one gig,
and
you
that was
see.
one gig.
But so I got the vocals on Manuka tea, and I'll put in a wee spoonful of Manuka honey into it as well, just to
Do you know, I was waiting for
cheer
you
it
to
up a wee
finish
bit.
talking because a couple of guys say that to me as well. Honey seems to be the thing. So
Yes, good lubrication.
is it? Is it?
Yeah.
On my own.
That's great. Thanks very much for that, guys. But Greg's been in the band now for a couple of years, and seeing him
Yeah.
on the stage at the garage about a month or so ago, it just looks as if he's just fitted in, naturally fitted in. So how easy or difficult was it to recruit Greg into the band? And Greg, a question for yourself, mate. How hard was it to adapt to the 6 Year Silence sound? Because I know the other band that you're in is more metalcore. So how hard or difficult, well, or easy was it to adapt to the SYS sound?
Do you want me to go first? Do you want them to go first?
We'll go with
There you
them
go,
first
mate. There you go.
because you'll probably need plenty of time to think about it. So we'll go with them first.
Good point.
To be fair, Greg, we tried to get Greg in to the band a long, long time ago, and he basically told us to go fuck ourselves.
Wow.
That's not true.
Was that the words that you used?
In a really polite Greg way, aye.
Aye. Please go fuck yourself.
Because he's such a
This has been in the making for quite some time, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah.
We just finally managed to fucking tie him
They
down.
wore me down.
because we've had more obviously lineup changes than the Sugar Babes, so Greg's been on our radar for a long time.
I was in the Sugar Babes
And,
for this.
Aye. And one of the times I think we asked him, he was such a musical tart that he couldn't be in another like fifth or sixth band or whatever he was in
Yeah.
at the time.
Third would have been
So
fucking hell.
so then obviously we had a kind of couple of people and then
Yeah.
we kind of finally wore them down.
Greg woke up and walked out
noticed
and
that you
never
had
again.
like Stevie from Attica Rage as well. That's a good band as well. A blast from the past from that. So you've got a good caliber of guitarists, and then you've
Funny.
ended up with Greg.
Oh, that was okay. I didn't know go where I thought I was going to go, but anyway, but Steve, it's funny because Stevie actually reached out to me before he told them he was going to leave. He
Okay.
actually reached out to me and went, "Look, I think I'm going to be done. I think you'd be a good thing for 6 years. I think you should go." Didn't want to say to him, "Oh, they reached out to me ages ago before you were in the band."
I've already learnt all your parts.
But it was.
So did they approach you at a gig that they saw you at, or did they just text you out the blue?
So I think the first time it was. I think Ian approached
I
me.
think it's been me
Aye,
most of the time.
It was
Aye.
Ian all the time.
Aye.
Johnny didn't
aye,
want you, it was Ian.
Aye, I think Ian approached me. No one though. I mean, that's understandable. No, I think Ian approached me, and like you said, at the time I was in Burn the Dream and I was in All One Blood as well.
Yeah.
And the amount you pay in just rehearsals alone, do you know what I mean? Because I was like 50 quid for Burn the Dream and just about 50 quid for All One Blood as well. I couldn't do 150 quid a month,
Yeah.
just on bands, do you know what I mean? So as much as I wanted to, because it was something very different from everything else that I've kind of done before, I didn't like Johnny enough to want to join. I mean, I couldn't afford to join.
That's
how is
why
it,
we're trying to
Greg?
keep fucking members.
How is it, Greg, though? Like, they've came after you for years and years and years, and then they turn around to you in your studio and saying, is this what you're bringing? After all these years, this is what you're bringing to SYS?
I told them I'm a good at. I was still miming. I still miming in SYS as well. None of that's live.
Backing tapes. We're talking about backing tapes again.
I know.
But yeah, so Greg, back to you, mate. So how easy or difficult was it for you to adapt to the SYS sound?
Honestly, it was pretty easy. But, a lot of the stuff they do, and a lot of the kind of influences they've got, especially Ian, are bands that I've loved for years and years. Stuff like Seven Dust and like Alter Bridge and all that kind of stuff, and Mark Tremonti. I've loved all that stuff for years, and I've always kind of wanted to do a band in that vein. Just never either had the time or just knew the right people to do it with. So when they eventually asked me again, when Stevie Bell reached out to me, and I was only in Burn Dream at the time, then I was like, this is the chance to do it. And I'd seen the boys a good few times live and stuff like that, and listened to their stuff already, so I was familiar with it. And they're so easy to get on with, and they've got, like Ian was saying earlier on, you can tell when they're on stage, it's about the performance as well. It's not just about play as tight as you can and stand still. It's about giving a show. And I always feel like one of my stronger points is I try and put on a bit of a show. No matter what band I've been, try and put on a wee bit of show. So I kind of felt like I fitted in pretty quickly that way. And I was like, I got on really well with like Davey and Gary and Johnny on stage. We've all got a kind of good fucking thing going. So
just know me.
It was simple. Just know Ian. Nah. If you're sitting down, it's hard to think.
You just sit there and watch us, know what I mean?
I know. But no, it was really simple, and the guys were really good. Like, helped me out any way I could, like to quickly learn the stuff and get in. Because I didn't have long before the first gig in the Cat House with them either. I think I only had like 7 or 8 weeks before I had a gig in the Cat House with them. So
the first time I've ever dropped my mic live was that gig.
I don't know how
because
I
of you.
blamed for that though.
Because you were there.
I know.
Your first gig.
I was at loads of other gigs before, and you didn't drop it, so that's on you.
On stage with me.
It was caught in video as well, yeah, Bill.
It's caught in video. I played it off good, but I definitely played it off good.
But were the songs in Resurrected already written by the time you came to the band? Because I'm looking at a track in particular, Monster, from Resurrected. I'm thinking, was that a lot from you?
That was. I would say every song was 90-95% of the way there. But I think Monster was the one that wasn't completely done, and we all kind of worked on a new intro for it because it just didn't start right before, and it kind of built from that. I would
definitely say that was an influence for you because especially the intro, because there's a huge the minute the intro came together, because as Greg said, the riff and stuff and most of the song was there, but the intro was like everybody was like, something just doesn't sit right here, it's no working. And I think we'd sort of, I can't remember if it was you or somebody said something about the whole like kill switchy like
Greg, innit?
Aye, so I think we had that sort of end of heartache sort of idea behind it, and it was like, and as soon as we all started jamming that, and you had brought out that, because you come up with that wee lick, like with the tap it, I'm sure. It was very much like, all right, this is how this is meant to go. So I would say the intro in particular is definitely a massive influence from you. But
really now he's bringing some shit to the songs.
Oh, it's definitely shit, aye.
But we see that Ian as well. He says he puts on a show. To be fair, he looks good for a rhythm guitarist.
I'm not biting. I don't care anymore.
You see him standing there with his black coat and his Mohican. He looks great. There's actually sometimes I was like, I really want to be you. But then I find out, Ian, that he's not a true Scotsman.
We were all
Horrible.
raging at that, to be fair.
Horrible. The amount of
Disgusted.
times I try to pull his kilt up on stage and all that to see him
That was a topic of many discussions every night on tour. Like, what are
every
you
night.
doing?
And why? What was the outcome? Because I don't
You-
want to put it on a list. I've
You just-
some wee
well-
underage lassie looking at my kilt and saying nothing. And
You
then
let
me
the whole
getting
of Scotland down, mate.
Mate, I've let the whole of
Yeah.
Scotland down many a time. It's all good.
Absolutely, absolutely. But we're going to, since we're talking about recording new material, then we're going to look at how the songs are constructed within the band. So how would you say you keep it all together? Like, for example, when negotiating what stays in and what goes out of a song. I mean, is there a moody one in the band? Is there somebody that says this is the best riff I've written here yet? Or is there somebody that sends a riff at 4 o'clock in the morning saying this is my best riff? Who's what? Who's the moody one?
I believe every one of them are Ian. Every one of them are Ian, and
Fuck
there's
you.
one that's me.
You're definitely the moody one.
I'm a moody bastard. Absolute moody
Aye.
bastard. Like if
I would
something doesn't
definitely
work,
say
I'm
all
like,
that.
that's shite.
Aye. There's all that. There's very, very different ways. Like Johnny is more likely to be like, that's shite. That doesn't work. That doesn't make sense.
Is that
And
the
then-
constructive feedback that you get? That's shite.
Aye. Absolutely.
It's not
I
like you
don't
can
like that.
turn this melody
And
around or anything like that. No, it's shite.
Well,
Straight to the point.
the thing, once you get to know him, though, once you get to know him, that you realise that even though he's not saying it and his face is as dead as anything, you know, he's actually thinking of stuff in his head. That's why he's not saying anything else after it, because he'll tell you it's shite, but in his head he's going, right, I'm trying to think of something else.
Yeah.
Like, we're just not saying it to that, because then you go, well, what do you want us to do then? You'll be like, I don't know, I'm trying to think about it now, as if we're all meant to know that.
I'm away for a shite. I'll not come back.
But no, I mean,
It took his years, man, but you've got there, know what I mean? He's
Oh,
understood me now.
aye. When we first started the band together, man, it took me fucking ages to get used to how you roll. And now I think I've got you down to a T. I'm Johnny's translator on tour for anybody outside of
Everything.
Scotland. Aye.
Aye, for people wanting merch, he's my translator, and for buying
Ordering
food,
kebabs. Aye.
definitely a
Aye.
translator.
Or
But I-
do you translate for him when he really wants Greg's guitar to just be lowered because he can't hear anything else apart from Greg's guitar?
My guitar is never too loud. I'm just going to leave that out there. It's never my guitar that's too loud.
It's usually the bass is too loud, and I need to tell him to turn that down. I don't want bass on my monitor.
It's true. I think when we're writing, like, though, it is a lot of times, like a lot of time, I'll like just go into the studio. Like, so if some of the guys can't make it, like Sunday night for me is like my night, my like personally, just like that's my like 3 or 4 hours, like just of my time. So like if nobody else is going, I just go in anyway, 9 times out of 10. And sometimes I'll go in and play drums, and sometimes I'll go in and sit and write a song, and like I'll write bits of songs, or write riffs or whatever. And then
So you're a
you know,
multi-instrumentalist.
a wee bit, I dabble a wee bit.
He
what
was the
made you
original
just-
guitarist.
Aye.
Aye,
So
well,
why not just kick Greg out of the bands? You become the guitarist, the lead guitarist, get all the attention, and just get a new drummer in.
Because we couldn't
Oh,
find
Do
a
you know
drummer,
how
so we
hard it
had
is
to get him to play drums.
Guitarists are 10 a penny.
Aye, Ian was the original guitarist, and once the original drummer left, it was hard to get a drummer to play in that style, because realistically, Ian wrote it all anyway. So it was probably the best shout to get Ian back in, because again, we couldn't find anybody to actually play the parts. We had Ramo for Psychedelic in for a while, and as much as Ramo's amazing, you know, it just there still wasn't that feeling. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
I think,
fair
like,
play.
It was just a wee conversation of me and Ian and Burger King. Like,
Oh, aye.
right,
I
this is
think
where
I'm
we
going to
need
play drums again.
This is where we need to
Funny,
go.
exactly the same thing that happened to Burn the Dream. I mean, when the Burn the Dream drummer left, Richie was like, I'll just drum because it's easy to find a guitar player and it's to find a fucking drummer.
Aye, and that was it, man. It was like literally, you know, it's like Johnny says, there is lots of metal drummers and stuff out there. Like, I'm no I'm not like a great metal drummer. Like I'll be the first person to say that, but it's more about like the style. It's like
Yeah,
the kind of style and the groove and the feel more than
yeah,
anything else, I think, with us. And
yeah.
it's quite a particular thing to find. So, we had quite a few people come in and I don't like you, but audition, you know what I mean? Like come in to play for the band and you just never really had that feeling. Like Johnny says, literally we were at Burger King one day, I was like, mate, I've wrote and programmed all these drums. I may as well just fucking go back to playing the drums.
But talking about auditioning, Greg, even though they've been saying like they wanted you for years, when they finally got you in, how did it feel when they actually told you that you were the seventh guy that they auditioned for the role? Yeah.
That's fine because I was better than all six, so I'm alright with
Well,
Is
you
he
take
already
it
knew
that
the
way.
songs?
it.
Yeah. So,
Everybody else just said no.
yeah.
We can stop picking
To
me.
be
That'd be
fair,
great. Cheers, guys.
it wasn't even an audition, was it? It was just come in,
Oh,
right, cool.
I mean,
Cheers, mate. You're in the band now.
Nah,
we already
See,
knew.
honest with you,
Aye.
I didn't know until I played the Forever Burning solo correctly, and they just went, "Aye, that will do." I was just waiting for that one
It's a big
moment,
thing.
and I know if I
That's
fucked
aye.
that, then I was out.
He
That
did
was it.
fuck it last night, but he
Aye.
I
did
was
do
also
well.
very hungover last night
Aye.
because somebody was feeding me orange juice.
I wonder why. I wonder why.
Aye.
It must have been the double orange juice I bought you. Aye.
It was
I was
the dab
disappointed
orange.
with that. I wanted an umbrella and cherries and stuff like that, but they didn't have that in the bar. I was disappointed. But anyway,
Funny,
we done that with Ian, man.
we did that in tour.
Where were we? Sheffield
tell.
with me,
Aye.
Ian and Greg went for a nice wee romantic meal, right?
Oh, it was beautiful.
And
I
I'm
get
sure
fingered.
we done it before in Wales. We were getting Ian a drink and I asked the lassie, wee umbrella, wee sparkler, and she looked at me as if I just shat in her shoe. Like, never had a clue what I was talking about, but she never had anything to fucking use, right? So we end up in Smoked Barbecue restaurant in Sheffield, and we ordered a drink, and Ian got something, and I'm like, can you get a wee umbrella in that, and a sparkler, and whatever else? And the lassie was laughing, shooting away. We seen her walking up behind Ian, like with a fucking candle in his drink. Brilliant.
Well chuffed.
Ian,
great.
I would sack the lot of them, mate. That's disgusting
Oh.
behaviour. Sack the lot of them.
Good luck.
You can find vocalists 10 a penny, as you said. But who's the one that said is so? Sometimes you do the guitar riffs, then Ian as well. You sometimes write some stuff. Are you sending Greg riffs at 4 o'clock in the morning then?
I'm sending everyday riffs at 4 o'clock in the morning. The heartbreaking thing is that I'll sometimes sit in the studio myself for hours, coming up with one riff and send it into the band chat. And it's like, just been working on this wee riff, let me know what you think.
It's not happening. That's what they say. Aye.
No,
Everybody's
no
seen
response.
it. Everybody's seen it,
response.
but
No
nobody's
even.
commented.
Aye, no even. I'm not into that, mate. Just no response. You're just sitting there like.
You're
It's good to
undervalued.
keep him
Ian.
on his toes.
Aye.
You're
To be
undervalued.
honest with you, Ian writes 80-90% of the stuff that we do. Do you know what I mean? It's not just one or two riffs. Ian writes the vast majority of the stuff that we do. You know what I mean? So, like, majority of stuff he comes up with is very, very good.
So wait a
Not you
minute.
most of it, but
So wait a minute.
Here
If
we
he
go.
writes 80 or 90% of the stuff, and Johnny comes to you, Ian, saying, "No, that's shite." Do you not have the final say and everything like that? Do you not say to him, like, get it up you? It's in. It's staying in.
I'd love you to try and say that to him. No, it's. You just think about all the shite stuff I've got sitting in a file somewhere. The stuff that's been knocked back by Johnny.
Yeah.
A wee
yeah.
folder in the Dropbox just called shite.
Johnny says no.
I think I'm absolutely like hung up like I'm loving like writing the new stuff as well. We like especially with like Greg and that as well, and obviously Gary as well. Gary's a big part of that and all. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we call him Bridge Master Gary. It's like I've got this
Master
really
G.
bad I've got this like really bad habit of like writing like 3/4 of the song and getting to the bridge and being like, oh shit, like what do I do for here? And then we've now developed this in joke that we're like, right Gary, you're up, mate.
And sure as fuck, he steps up to
fucking-
the plate within
Aye.
seconds of the bridge.
Every time, man. But I because Greg and I are into really similar bands, like, and we have already like wrote stuff together.
Yeah.
I'm like absolutely, I'm like that all the time, right? Well, you need to get a riff, Greg. Send us some riffs. I want some riffs. Like, I want to be sent stuff that we can start all writing together. Because
Yeah.
I mean, my talent pool's running very, very dry now. So it's like,
I'm sure
I
it's not. I'm sure
I
it's
don't know.
not.
Just I think because I've
He
played
just
the
needs to
drums.
learn the
I
other.
said that
He just
before
needs to
and
learn the
fucking
other
popped
nine
out with
frets.
Resurrected.
I just need to. I think because when you switch to the drums, I stopped playing the guitar a lot more. And I remember when we first were writing stuff for King of the Clown. I remember watching it's so stupid, but watching an interview with Dave Grohl, and he was like, you're not going to, what is it? He says something about you only get better at like writing and stuff the more you actually physically play the guitar. It sounds dead obvious, but at the time I was always picking it up every now and again and just,
Yeah.
if I was
It's,
lucky, I
it's
was coming up
exactly the
with
same as
something.
any technique, isn't it? You need to practice
Aye.
writing as much as you need to practice
Aye.
sweep picking or doing whatever, playing drums or whatever.
Aye.
It's all about practicing. You only get better the more you do it. And there's somebody said
Yeah.
to me, I can't remember who it was, one of the best bits of advice was write for the bin. Because if you just write shite and you know it's going to be shite, something amazing is going to pop out because you won't care about the rest of the stuff. And then something amazing will come out. You'll be like, that's the one. And you'll grab on it
Yeah.
and you'll just write on that. So you'll put 100 stuff in the bin and you'll get one great riff because you're just writing all the time.
I think it was
Resurrection.
actually me that told it to you. I think it was
Yeah,
actually
was it
me
you?
that said that to you.
No,
Because
you said put all your riffs in the bin. That's what
that's
you
exactly
said
what I said, mate. That's exactly what I said. Um,
If you
but
don't turn up, how do you expect your genius to turn up?
That was what you said. I like that. Aye, that was
fair
good.
play, fair
Aye.
play. That's going to be the title of this article, by the way.
Mm.
But
Is it not?
that's
He
just
does a
not me
shite
for
and writes
six.
songs.
That's not me for yeah. Because what I was thinking was, if you guys are busy writing the material, that's basically telling me that Johnny does fuck all for a year, and then you're saying, right, we booked the recording studio for 2 weeks' time, and that's when he writes his lyrics.
Yeah, that
No, we don't even book a recording studio. We do everything. We record all the instrumental stuff ourselves as well. So it's just like once that's all done and solidified, that's when Johnny will go, right, I'll go up to Liam's and so because majority of the time Johnny's got 75-80% of the lyrics down for that song,
Well,
and then him and Liam will thing it together.
Most of the time I'll go up there with a full song. I don't think I've ever went up there and not had a full song of lyrics.
Right.
I think there's a couple of times I went up and the lyrics changed
yeah,
because it just didn't fit after it get
I
recorded.
can see your face on
But-
you. What? You're changing it to what?
No, to be fair, we recorded the full song, and I'm sure it was Vita Nova. We recorded the full song, sent it to the boys,
Aye.
and I'm like, "This doesn't sound good, boys. We need to change it."
Aye.
Then sure as fuck, I went back up and changed it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lyric in that song that's what reaching through darkness or searching through darkness. Is it Vita Nova?
No,
and
that's
it's,
fucking In Due Time.
And no, is it? Aye, in due time.
Aye, Power.
And it's we were every time Johnny was singing it, we were all because I don't know if it was like almost kind of power metal-y,
Yeah.
Disney type thing. He was like searching for power, like, and we were just all. He was like looking at it and knew he still does it in rehearsals just for a hoot. But we were, I think one night we were just sitting and he was like, I need to change that. He's like, there's no sitting right with me.
It's funny because I've noticed sometimes when I play it live, I turn around and Dave is still going, power. Fuck you.
Good shit, man. Good shit. But we are going to concentrate on you for a wee second, Johnny. You were kind of touching on it there. But with you being the main vocalist of the band, then do you write all the lyrics, or do you welcome contributions from other members of the band? But I also want to know, what type of lyricist are you? Do you open the door, you see something on the street, you take a note of it and you write it down, and you come back to it later on? Do you watch a lot of films? Do you watch a lot of documentaries? Where do you get read a lot of books? Where do you get your inspiration from for your lyrics, mate?
Never read a book in my life.
That answers that question.
Aye, but
That's
to be fair, at the start of our time writing, I was constantly writing lyrics, and I'd say to the boys, if anybody's got any ideas, geese them, we'll work on them. I'm no the kind of guy who'll turn around and say, no, you're not putting lyrics in here. You know what I mean? If you think something should be changed, do something different, cool. If you've written a tune or you hear the tune and you go, I've got ideas for this, cool, send me and we'll work on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Me and Ian have wrote a lot together. Ian will sit and send me hundreds Others are random wee voice notes, and then others are lyrics. You know what I mean? And we'll work on them. But when it comes to me writing lyrics, I will see something and write it down, and I will hear something and write it down and never forget it. Like that, what I just said a minute ago. How you got to show up for your genius? Your genius want to show up. You don't know what I mean. There's stuff like that will stick with me. There's a lot of random shit that's written in my phone just because I've heard it. And like I'm in the middle of having a conversation with something, like, stop. What did you just say there? Cool. I'll just write it down. But
Absolutely.
there's a
Imagine
lot of
stealing
times.
people's lyrics. What a prick.
Fucking that's what it is. No, I mean that's what it is. But I know there's a lot of times where I will just sit down with the music, put the headphones on, turn the music up loud, and I'll have the mic in front of me and I'll just press record and just mumble a load of shite into the mic. And sometimes the melody works, sometimes the lyrics work, or sometimes whatever I'm doing just happens to work, and then I just put lyrics to it and
Yeah.
build it through there. But there is a lot of times where I'll just sit and write. If I write down something that goes with it, I'll just turn it off and my thumbs will just go mental and I'll just start writing something.
Yeah.
But I've not got a set structure, if I'm honest with you. It is kind of all other places I say I don't read.
I was
So
going to ask, do you have like a book behind you or something like that? You've already got 20 songs written and you wait for the music and say that's what's going to fit that? Or
I
do you
actually
wait until
looked
you hear the
behind me there
music?
for a fucking book. Sorry, there is my phone, my wee notepad in my phone is just full of random shit, random
Yeah.
ideas. You know what I mean? And sometimes it works, sometimes it won't. But most of the times I'll just write for
Yeah.
the music, write for that song specifically.
Yeah. And I think we discussed this a wee bit on the radio, but you said that Ian writes a lot of lyrics. Does he sometimes find it difficult for him to portray how he wants you to sing them, or he knows that if he gives you a couple of lines or a verse or something like that, he knows you'll just nail it? Or does Ian want you to do this, 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 and this?
Sometimes I'm a pure prick, right?
I don't
Because
believe that,
came up,
Johnny.
Just
you know,
sometimes. Sometimes.
came up with something, and there's a lot of times it'll just work, but there's a lot of times it doesn't. I don't know, it just doesn't feel right, and sometimes I won't explain it well, and I just say no, that's shite. It needs to fucking change. And again, it's happened recently, to be fair, but. There's a lot of stuff that Ian comes up with, and I'm like, that melody's fucking magic. Let's go with it. Know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that
Ian's,
song,
Ian's done
Happy
a song
Trip.
recently, eh? Ian done a song recently that's like when we're writing that kind of ballady one that's dynamite. He's got a dynamite like chorus for it, I'm sure. That I'm pretty sure will stay. And then Johnny's like, no, it's not staying. Don't even know what you're talking about, Greg. What you doing? You can say
No, that's good. That will stay probably.
aye.
But that
I
is
think
good.
it's how I fit words in, but I know in it. But it's like how obviously because we're still different.
Yeah.
We still write differently. Like so, where I would put certain words in, like or vice versa, the other person's like that doesn't make sense to me. Like, so I'm going to try this, and
Yeah.
it is quite hard sometimes because like when you've, I'm sure Johnny's exactly the same. When you've kind of come up with it in your head, and somebody's like, oh, I think we should change it to this. Internally, sometimes you're like, okay. But it's a lot. Most of the time, it's always for the better because he is the singer. He's the vocalist. He knows better than me. I'm just churning the odd idea at him. You know what I mean? Like in
Yeah.
my shitey emo voice.
There is a couple. Well, that. I think that's part of the issue with that as well, because I'm singing it in a completely different
Yeah.
style from what Ian's singing it to me. He's singing it like he's in fucking Blink 182. You know what I mean? And I'm like, well, this doesn't go with how I'm singing it. And aye.
Aye.
My
But
Incubus Alien Ant Farm voice.
But again, I don't know if I said it on Thursday, but again, I keep on bringing it up. Jason from Ingested, he's heavily influenced from rappers, and he discovered that it's the last line in a verse is the most striking. So he actually writes all his songs from the last line up, and they have to rhyme as well. So that's how he constructs his lyrics. I was just wondering if there's some set mannerisms that you guys have when you're writing your lyrics.
Definitely not that. That sounds absolutely
I'm not
average.
saying you
No.
need to listen to rap music, but
But no, I quite like
That sounds really hard.
rap music. It does. It sounds fucking overcomplicating things. But
Because I think you
that's
said
the
a while
structure,
ago,
man.
Ian, I think you said a while ago, like it was more about the first line of the chorus rather than the last line of the verse that you're kind of I think you said this a while ago to me.
Me?
First line of the chorus.
No,
Ian
he
did.
does the last line up. No.
No, Ian said to me that's the way he always sees the biggest
right.
catchy line's the first line of the chorus.
Right.
I think you've got it.
Sometimes I take with the last line of the chorus as well, man.
I think you definitely need like it's all about a hook. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and hooks can come in multiple different.
Yeah.
Hooks can be literally the guitar thing is the first hooks. I mean, like sorry for some people that maybe don't like them, but like Nickelback, their major hook right away was never
Fuck
made
people
it as
who don't like Nickelback.
never made it as a
right.
wise man.
You-
You know what I mean?
You do
Like-
realise this interview's never going out again because Ricky's
who
like,
cares?
fuck yous.
But
Fucking love
I
Nickelback.
don't even know who Nickelback are.
You do. Secret fan.
you ask MD to sing like "How You Remind Me," and I would say about 8 out of 10 people will say "Never made it as a wise man." Like right away, it's like the first lyric they sing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's because that's the hook, that's the thing everybody remembers right away.
That's it,
so-
man.
Do you know
Things,
something? I'll
things
just,
like that day stick, you know what I mean? But
yeah. I think your strongest point, and I hope you don't take this personally, I think you guys, obviously you know my scene, you can see it behind me and stuff like that, the music that I'm into, right? I shouldn't like you guys, but I do, because every single song, I mean, I grew up with my Bon Jovi's, Def Leppard, Skid Row's. Skid Row's fucking brilliant.
man.
But it's the
What
chorus.
about Steel Dragon?
Get fucked. It's the melodies and it's the chorus. That's when you guys hit it every single song. And I'm like, yeah, the opening start. And I'm like, yeah, I can like that. I can like that. And then the chorus comes in and you just win me over every single time. So you're bringing out a wee soft spot in my heart for you. So fair play.
Appreciate that, man. I like a good chorus, you know what I mean? And I'm very
Unbroken.
metal influenced, man. So there's when it comes to big epic choruses, I try my best to make sure it's up there, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But the last question for you, Johnny, is because I know that you love talking about yourself and stuff, but unfortunately, we've got a grim picture. You're lying in a coffin and you've got your arms folded and you're allowed to take a sheet of paper with the lyrics that you're most proud of. Well, I'm going to ask you that, Ian, as well, since you write 50% of them, say for talking's sake. So if you were allowed to take lyrics of a song away with you when you pass, what would your song be and why?
Well, first of all, I'll say I don't write 50% of them. I do add in.
Yeah.
But I'll let Johnny answer I'll let Johnny
I
answer that
honestly
first of all,
don't
I think.
fucking know, if I'm honest. There's definitely a couple. I really
What's the
enjoyed
song that
chorus.
means most to you personally for the lyrics that you've written?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. Like, Forever Burning is, yeah, that's a completely different thing. But probably In Due Time, if I'm honest with you.
Okay, so why?
There's a
Is it a bit you've
shitload of
changed
meaning
it to
behind
Greg
it.
now? Is it a bit you've changed
Aye.
to Greg? Is it because my name's it now?
That's it. That's exactly what it is. But yeah, no, probably In Due Time. There's a lot of fucking meaning behind In Due Time in the choruses.
Yeah.
The lyrics in the chorus are really good, I think. But there's a bit that as soon as you started saying that and said lyrics, there's one wee line that I was talking to Ian about and he's stuck in a hoodie. And I kind of want to put it on a t-shirt or something because I just love that wee line, and it's "The devil stole your name." Pure random as fuck. Doesn't
Okay.
really. It kind of goes with the tune and the meaning of it, you know what I mean? But as soon as you say that, the first thing that came into my head was "The devil stole your name."
Yeah.
And it became
Cool
lying
line,
there
man.
in a coffin with "The devil stole your name."
There you
So
go.
Aye.
It's a cool name. It's a
Aye.
cool line, man.
No, fair play, fair play. I mean, there's a guy, I can't remember if I said it on Thursday or not. It depends how many jacks I had. The guy used to be in acid bath, but he's writing the last number at 6 albums or something like that. He's written are like David Bowie and all the rest of it. But he wrote the lyrics just like a raindrop. I was born baby to fall, and I would get that tattooed. You know, I just think that's a beautiful, beautiful lyric. But yeah,
acid bath
just
are
wondered.
fucking magic, by the way.
What was
And there's
that?
not enough people. Acid bath are magic, and there's not enough people that know about acid bath.
Right, we're going to spend the next 40 minutes talking about acid bath. I actually got a letter from them way back in the day from Dax Riggs, but
Fuck's sake.
they were willing to trade me demo tapes. They were going to send me demo tapes if I got them the prison number of Dennis Nielsen. But anyway, That's acid bath for you.
That's random as fuck.
Absolutely. That's great. Thanks very much. Listen, I really, really do appreciate the time that you've taken with me tonight. I've only got 3 questions left for you.
Thanks,
Talking
fuck.
of the visual side of the band, then, you guys have already got a YouTube channel set up and you've got a couple of videos on it. But it's been a couple of years since you released like a band video. I mean, I know that you've done a guitar playthrough for Resurrected. That might have been a wee bit of like, this is an introduction to Greg as well. But do you think there's, with your new releases, you're going to release anything new? And who's the visual one of the band? Who's the one that comes up with the ideas for the videos?
Johnny. I would say you. I would say you definitely have. We all have our ideas. Like everybody
Yeah.
has ideas. It usually starts off with some sort of mad Hollywood production value that we think we've got, and then we very quickly realise, oh, well, let's just find an abandoned place and film it with our cameras.
To be fair though, but we did like we had a couple of decent ideas for Resurrected, and we were meant to do a video, but sure the guy fell ill,
Aye.
and literally just timescale wise, we went, we'll just need to go a visualizer because we didn't want
I
to hold
noticed.
off any longer.
Yeah.
Aye, we didn't have to hold off any longer, and then we dropped the bomb. We should have put out another one with our video, but
We should
I
have
think
definitely
there'll
done a
be-
video, man. We should have done a video
There-
after it was
Yeah.
released anyway, but definitely
There
dropped
will
the ball on
be-
that, man, because there's a couple of good songs on that should
Yeah.
have definitely had a video. But we kind of made up with TikTok nonsense.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
there will be
absolutely.
videos for the next one. I think we realised the error of our ways in the last release, and we were like, that's not going to happen again. There'll be way more videos next time.
If it was up to me, every single song would have its own video.
I mean, again, it just comes down to like cost. But I mean, when you're selling a fuck ton of merch like you did in your last UK2, you've got the funds to do it. So it's just keeping the name. You've got to use every avenue to keep the name of 6 Year Silence out there, don't you? So
Johnny
Yeah,
spent all that
exactly.
in Jack Daniels.
I can
that's
believe
gone.
that.
Goodbye anyway, man.
I can believe that. But yes, the second last question. You're playing an hour-long set on October the
Is it?
19th. Is it?
We've
Oh,
only
is it
half
50
an hour.
minutes? I can't
We'll do it
fucking.
twice.
Right, okay. But you're playing let's say you're playing an hour-long set, so you're going to play 8 to 10 songs. Look at you hooligan. Diet Coke. You've got
I mix it. Cheers, mate.
you've got 8 to 10 songs on the set list. But I'm going to ask each and every one of you, what's the one song on the set list that you're looking forward to playing the most and
We're not going
why?
to say the same song.
Stand Up and Shout by Steel Dragon.
Aye. I don't know where you're getting 8 to 10 songs for, because we're just going to drag that shit out for an hour.
Are you? Are you? Well, just remember, I've got the white envelope and I'm meant to be seeing you at the end of the night. But
We weren't paid beforehand.
oh yeah. But yeah, so what's the one song off the set list that you're looking forward to playing the most and why? So I'll start, because you're top left, Greg, what's the one song in the set list from an SYS set list that you're looking forward to playing the most?
Probably Monster. Because it's just because it's
That intro,
it's
isn't
just
it?
no, it's not. It's not even intro. Well, it is intro. It's because it's the one we get the crowd most involved in, and it's always one we get an absolutely amazing response with.
Yeah.
And the crowd start jumping, and it's always kind of the set ender. It's not a spoiler because every last gig for the last 2 years it's been the set ender, but it's always received really well, and it's just such a fun song to play as well. And
Yeah.
whoever wrote the solo, I made an absolute killer fucking solo for that, and I enjoy playing it.
Nah, fair play, man. Was that you, Ian?
No, it was me.
Nah, good
No,
shit, man.
absolutely not.
Nah, good shit, good shit. What about yourself, Ian? What's your favourite song to play live?
Oh, it's a hard one, man. Like, because I did have it when I was going to say there, and then he said Monster, and then I realised I was like, for the same reasons, I do love Monster, because it is a massive crowd interaction moment, and you do get like, especially on that tour there with the crowds we were playing to, like you proper like goosebumps when you're playing when the song kicks in and everybody stands up and starts bouncing. But I think like on a personal level, really, I love Resurrected. I love playing Resurrected and just love playing it. And from the wee sort of, sometimes I feel like, even from my perspective, that when we kind of play the intro and it's on like the wee electronic sample pad and stuff like that, it's like when we actually kick into the riff, I personally, even for the back, feel as if you can see people kind of going, what fucking, you know what I mean? Like, when the song actually kicks in. And I love the chorus, I love the riff, and I really enjoy playing it. And I think it gets a good response from the crowd as well.
See, is this not when you wish that you were Greg and being a rhythm guitarist, you would be at the front and seeing it all happening? You're stuck up at the back, you know, you don't always get to see it.
I mean, I don't get me wrong. I do miss a bit of the being up the front, playing the guitar and that. It was good fun. Took me a while to find my place in that when I was doing it originally, but once I sort of got into it, I really really enjoyed it. But I mean, I jump about enough as much as I can in the back of the behind the drums anyway. So
Absolutely.
it's I'll let you know I'm there.
Yeah. But Greg, I don't know if you picked up that subtle warning there. Like, if
He
you
did.
don't do
He
your
did.
shit on the front of the stage, then you know you're going to be replaced by Ian. Did you hear that?
His
That's
face was
right, I'll play
serious there
that.
because he
I'll
wasn't
play drums if you want.
wasn't biting.
No.
I'm telling you right now. I think if another guitar player left, Ian would just shoot himself.
Nah, good shit, man. Good shit. And Johnny, what's the song that you're looking forward to playing the most and why?
All of the above, man. See, Monster is just fucking epic. Getting people to sit down, jump.
Right, can I
Obviously,
just
you
stop you
enjoyed the
there?
sitting down.
Can I
You
just
enjoyed
stop
the
you
sitting
there?
down and jumping up.
You've got to think of people of all ages when you play that song. And the
I
request
don't
that
give
you
a.
get is to sit down and shit like that. You know, some
I
people,
just care about the ones that can do it.
do you not get like the 20-year-olds jump up first and then the 30 years are behind them and then the 40-year-olds is a wee bit longer and then myself, 51 tomorrow, thanks very much. Just Zimmer
Stands up
frame
the
and all the
next
rest of
day.
it.
Still no stood up yet.
Never sat down.
But
Never sat down.
yeah, so Monster for that exact reason, everybody jumping and it's massive. It really is. And right at the end of it, I try and get that big note as much as possible,
Yeah.
and you can hear how much people enjoyed it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
brilliant.
Resurrected also is fucking magic. As soon as it comes in, you see the AIDS gone, but personally, mine I believe is going to be Forever Burning. Just because, I mean, if people haven't seen us before, this is one reason it's still in my set, and I believe it's always going to be in my set. But it's it's that whole turnaround song for everybody. There's a lot of people there that are there for the heavy stuff. People who don't know who we are, and they're like, these guys are heavy. It's good, it's bouncy, and no, it's heavy is what you listen to, but it's bouncy, it's good, and then we completely change the mood. Like that, me Forever Burning, and you can hear it. Like there's been a few times when we were on tour, and Greg's doing the guitar solo, and as soon as Greg does the guitar solo, finishes it, everybody's screaming, and some of the
Because people are
response
screaming at him, they'll
is
think, thank fuck you
unreal.
stop playing.
But some of the responses you get for it is fantastic. I think it is a big turning point for a lot of people who go, right, this is just a metal band, and then we play that and go, oh fuck,
Yeah.
this is something different here, and it's especially with the 3-part harmony and stuff like that. The chorus, it's definitely one of my favourites.
It's cool. It's one of those songs that you 100% by the last chorus, there's so many people singing along
Yeah.
already. Even if I've never heard it before, they'll be singing along by the last chorus.
Yeah.
That's
Well.
fucking epic hearing that.
No, like I've seen you live a good few times, and I'm always impressed. Like I said, it's the choruses and stuff like that because you know my shit behind me, but your choruses are outstanding.
Thank
But
you
yeah,
very much.
no, just Ian, I just wondered if there was any song that you liked in particular because you put in a wee drum solo in there or something like that, you know?
I'm not a drum solo guy, man.
No.
Nah, like I don't know. I've never had. It sounds ridiculous, but even in past years, I've just never had like the confidence to do like drum solos. It's no. I think if I was going to
What
do
do you
one,
do when, for example, like Greg breaks a guitar string and it takes him 10 minutes to fix the string? Do you not
Well,
get a wee drum solo in there?
I fucked
I
up
have
one
done it.
day and never put a guitar lead into my acoustic guitar. And Porter, the sound guy, had to run about trying to find me a fucking guitar lead. So we're sitting there for ages trying to get the acoustic guitar working, and Ian behind me done a drum solo.
I have done it. I have done it in the past. I don't love doing it, but like I'm the type of person that if
I
I was
love
going
when he
to do
does it.
if I was going to do it, I would like to do it where
You're doing it
it
on
was
the
like
19th.
it would connect like two songs or something. Do you know what I mean? Like
Aye.
rather than
Yeah.
even as a drummer, sometimes I feel like when you're at gigs and it's like a drum solo, it's on for like 10 minutes. I'm a drummer. I'm like, right, mate. You're like for the first 8 minutes, I was amazed, but now I'm like, right, go on, mate. I want to hear the songs. Do you know what I mean? But
It's like the singer of Shinedown trying to talk.
oh, I know.
There's a couple.
Just keep going.
There's a couple of films. There's a couple of films that Ian's done. I think, especially in Monster, that connect the verse to the chorus or the pre-chorus to the chorus, and even just the film. Sometimes they're just fucking amazing on their own. Never mind having a drum solo. And then
I always love the start of Hypocrite as well. That just
Aye, he's
I love
some
that.
great
Yes.
films, and like Ian, for the type of band we are, is exactly the kind of drummer that we'd need. Like
I'm glad this is
100%.
recorded.
Yeah. Yeah. Your head's just got that size on the screen, by the way.
I know. Honestly, though, because like I'm like you, Ricky. I'm an old man. I've been in hundreds of bands, but
I know.
I've never known a band that's had a drummer that suits the band as well as Ian does with this band.
It's probably
100%.
saxophone for guitar.
Well, because it was shit guitar.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Aye.
To be fair, I really enjoyed playing with Ian at the start. See when Ian's out playing guitar and jamming out and walking down to the front of the crowd and he'd banging and that's brilliant. I've always known Ian as a drummer. So when he started playing guitar and started doing stuff like that, I'm like, that's fucking unreal. That's brilliant, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I do, and I always have really liked him behind the drum kit. So
Cool. Well,
Thanks,
funnily enough,
chaps.
you're talking about a drum kit because this is probably where we're going to start another 40-minute segment with this because I'm going to ask what your make and model of the instrument that you're using to play this new material. And maybe on the 19th as well, who knows? But what make, model, amps, setup, and again, you're top left, Greg, so I'm going to start with you, mate. So what are you using in 6 year?
So, like, my setup's not really changed in the last
60 years.
Well, 60 years. Well, the guitar that I'm using for 6 Year Silence is the one that I've used for Of Von Blood and a lot of bands before that, and I've had it for like 20 odd years.
So why do you have a
And
guitar rack then behind you? It's got like 7 guitars on it, but you only use the one.
Because they're on different tunings, but that one sits as in that tuning. So
Right.
that one just sits there. So that my Gibson Les Paul, my Gothic Gibson Les Paul, I've had for like 23 years now. I think.
7-string?
And what was that?
7-string?
7-string?
Aye.
No, that's a 6-string. That's a 6-string. I've got a 7. I use my 7-string for Burn the Dream, my solo, which is amazing. But for 6 Year Silence, I had the trusty old Gibson Les Paul, and I live. I use my Kemper, which I just absolutely love. Like, I'm not a big gear person. I'm not a person who's pure 100% into gear and like want to get new gear all the time. My Kemper's exactly what I want. I've got the tones that I want. But recording wise, we actually still use Ian's kind of line 6 pod. Sounds great, and it's a sound that they like having, and it sounds great recorded. So I'm not one to come in and go, I have to use my sound. If it works for the band, then let it be for the band. I'm cool with that.
Yeah. No, absolutely fair play. Absolutely fair. I was worried that you were bringing 7 strings into 6 Year Silence because then they were going to start singing about dragons and swords and wizards and stuff like that, you know, with your power metal shit.
It's funny though, because like the 7 strings only tuned down like 2 notes lower than what the 6 string is. So I could bring it in, but fuck that. I love my Gibson, and every chance I get to use it, I'll use it all the time because it's beat up to shit. Like there's more
do you
brown
tune it
than
to?
black on it. It's a drop B.
Drop B. Cool.
But it's absolutely. I mean, it's fucking.
Oh,
it's fucking
that was
amazing.
convenient. Yeah.
It's fucked, man. It's absolutely beat up to shit. Like,
Take care of your bloody instrument, will you?
no, but I do take care of it.
It's been through World War II.
It's been built off the side of a tank. Do you know what I mean? So, the thing's just an absolute workhorse, and it never lets me down. I think I've broke a string live on that once in the 20 odd years that I've played it.
Did you panic?
What was that?
Did you panic? I don't know
No,
what you
'cause I
do.
had a spare guitar with me. No, professional, mate.
No, I
You
thought you
don't
would
bring
have
a
just played with the five strings.
you don't bring a fucking spare guitar out with us, you prick.
You do,
That's because I always have it on. It's on restrung and stuff like that. Mate, what about it? It's all good. It's fine.
I'll be watching you like a hawk on the 19th, boy.
I bet you, I'll fucking bite it off. Fucking six of them go or something like that.
You've jinxed it now.
From I know.
Yeah,
Aye.
yeah. You're turning the
You
bass
better bring
player
the
or
guitar in.
something. Ian, you're in the bottom left, mate. So what's your drum setup and things like that? What do you have? What cymbals do you use?
Well, the guys call it the big dick kit. That's sort of a compensating for
Is that a
something.
reference
BDK.
to you or a reference to what you've got?
It's the BDK. It's both, I think. Apparently, I'm compensating for something. Nah, I mean, it's a Yamaha Tour Custom I use, which I actually got as a trade for something with a studio we used to rehearse in. It was like this sort of beat up Yamaha Tour Custom, and I just knew how good they sounded, even though visually it just looked a state at the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was trading. I'd happened to come across a very gigantic gong, that a big Paiste gong, and I was trading stuff with the owner of the studio, and I was like, "Well, what about that Yamaha?" And he was like, "I'll give you that." It looked like a piece of shit, but I just bought a wrap for it and wrapped it myself, and knew it looks well. I think it looks cracking, and it sounds great. And
Right,
like
right.
Porter or the guy that does the sound for us a lot of the time at the Catty and all that, he fucking loves it.
Is it that
Um,
pink? Is it that pink drum set that you had at the garage about a month ago?
the
Pink.
Hello
Yeah.
Kitty one, aye, aye.
Yeah. Yeah.
So nah, I use that, and it's pretty much like a kind of two up, two down configuration, really. And I use like when I get back into the drums, I'd sold all my equipment apart from like a pedal and basically a snare drum that I had. So I had to
Yeah.
kind of buy everything. And when I used to play drums years ago, I was quite snobby in particular about what I wanted to play. So just down to like how expensive everything is now and finances and stuff like that, I was like, right, I'm just going to need to see what I can get for what I've got. But I
Yeah.
ended up coming across a cymbal company called UFIP, which I'd never heard of at the time, but it had apparently been about for years. And I ended up getting one of their like China cymbals and totally fell in love with it. And then I just ended up buying all UFIP cymbals. So
Yeah.
that's what I've got
Thankfully, you're
really.
not dyslexic, and it was a UKIP symbols that you bought. But
I like that. I like that. Aye. So, and apart from that, I think the biggest thing we've introduced in terms of like me is the sample pad. So we're obviously we run some synths and stuff like that on the sample pad in the
yeah,
background, and that's all coming for me and triggered by me. So,
yeah.
um, and I really enjoy it.
Just a couple of questions for you then. I've got a couple of sets of drum kits. The ones I've got here are like 5BR. So what weight of drumstick do you use?
I use 5B. And is that collision sticks?
It's a collision.
I thought that where they are. Aye, they're a stick company I actually looked at for a while and had some of their sticks. So that was the sticks I used from them. So you
Okay.
get standard like 5B, but so I've got an endorsement with Joe's drumsticks. And they're 5B long shanks.
Do you
So
break lots of
they're
them?
aye. Oh, you should see my drum rug. It's a fucking state. Looks like
No, anymore, you hoovered it.
I did hoover it, that's right, mate. Aye. But it honestly looks as if you've been in there with like the woodchuck, you know what I mean? Like literally just shit everywhere. But so mine's are like 5B, but they're extended, so they're longer.
Yeah.
And I just
I
bought them by
don't
accident.
I don't know if he's an influence because it's a completely different genre, but Andy Whale, he's the drummer for like Bolt Thrower, and that's what he uses is like 5B, and I've actually got the drumsticks down the stairs, So
Yeah.
I just wondered like what is the size of drumsticks you use. And the last question for you, mate, is the snare sound that you used in Resurrected, have you continued to use that, or have you tweaked it a wee bit with the new material, or what are you thinking?
I mean, that's a lot of that's actually down to like Liam, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I've got an SJC snare that I use live, It was absolutely my Wayne's World moment. Like I remember walking into like drummers only and was just being like, "Fuck that will be mine." I'm having that kind of thing. But in terms of like the snare sounds and stuff and the drum sounds, a lot of that we just send everything on to Liam, and he knows now what we're kind of looking for,
Yeah.
and the kind of overall sound. I think when we first wrote a lot of the King of the Clown stuff, he had really quite. Johnny might remember this better than me, but it was really quite industrial sounding drums.
Yeah.
Like everything was really quite dead industrial, and we were a bit like, "Oh, that's no sitting right." Like with the sound we're looking for. But I mean, all my sort of favorite drummers are like Morgan Rose for like Seven Dust, and I love Josh Freese, like who's obviously playing for Foo Fighters now, but he's been in other bands, but he was one of my favorite stints was in A Perfect Circle. So
Yeah.
like all their sort of drum sounds and all that, that's the kind of thing I really love.
Yeah. No, absolutely brilliant. Thanks very much, man. I've got a funny feeling I know what the answer to this is. Um, but since Johnny's the moody one in the band, I imagine that he has done a lot of research into microphones that he uses when he's recording and when he plays live and stuff like that. He's got a whole array of microphones. Or are you going to tell me that you've got an SM50 and a fucking singing it?
I have got an SM50, but I don't fucking use it.
It's one of the ones, made the plastic ones with the spring in it that you used to get when you were younger.
No, I think you're probably right. I have done a bit of research with my microphones. Initially, I had a Line 6 wireless. I like wireless because I'd like to throw it. I throw things like if I'm sitting like listening to a song or something and I really like the song, I'm sitting with my phone. I'll fucking throw my phone because I'm used to throwing my mic, and it's brutal, absolutely brutal. But
Can drop shit all the time.
I fucking want well twice I dropped it that night.
Do you
Fuck
not
you.
throw a punch at Greg when he fucks up a solo or something like that?
Nah, he hides
Doesn't
behind
happen.
Raggy's amp
Doesn't happen.
I was going to say I was like Raggy sample, but you mean in the studio?
in the studio, aye. But so I did do a bit of research on microphones. Initially, I was using a Line 6 wireless. The weight on it was amazing, and it was going through the Wi-Fi frequency, so you weren't really getting any digital interference or anything like that.
Yeah.
But there was a big issue with Line 6 and something like that, and the Wi-Fi frequency basically just went to buggery. So it's kind of a shit.
Yeah.
It's not really the greatest now for picking up signal and whatever else. Everything needs to be right beside you for it to pick up signal. So what I did do is I done a wee bit of research into mics again, and found that the Sennheiser EW500 was absolutely magic. Basically, you could bounce this thing off a wall. And it's
What
not going
kind
to
of
break.
budget were you looking at? Enough? Or was it,
It,
is it
it
a
wasn't a
relatively
cheap
cheap
microphone.
microphone, but it does the
It was.
business, or you put some money into it?
It definitely was not a cheap microphone. It
Mm.
definitely wasn't.
It
But
still
the
drops it, for
Sennheiser.
fuck's sake.
Fuck up, you dick. Well, that's just why I bought the fucking tank. Know what I mean? So it just
You're
bounced
living
back up into my
dangerously,
horns.
Greg.
But so with them you can actually change a capsule on top as well.
Yeah.
And I have a G4 935 capsule, which just so happens to be the exact same one that the singer of Sabaton uses as well, which is magic. But again, this mic you can drop it and fucking bounce it off a lot, and it's sturdy. It won't lose fuck all. It's a great fucking piece of kit. You know what I mean? And again, the weight for throwing it is
Throw it at
obviously
Greg's
what
head and it
I
bounces
want
back
that
to you.
mic. I need to throw it exactly. But yeah, I have definitely. And for recording, usually like studio wise, I will use an SM7B, which is a
Silly question. So why don't you use
mic.
that same mic in the studio?
Because when we're in the studio, I'll throw my mic at the parts of the song, so I'll kind of, as you've probably seen, I like my old finger guns.
Yeah.
But with different parts of the songs, I'll throw my mic because I like to practice that in the studio, so I don't fucking drop it when I'm on stage. But yeah, when I'm singing and whatever else, we kind of we don't always kind of practice like we're on stage, but everybody moves in the studio. It's not just a band you'll see in a studio that just stands still.
Yeah.
Everybody will do their own thing. Fucking
But last
they'll be
night,
trying to catch flies, and you know, Ian will be sweating, getting torn about it. You know, now I'll be throwing my makeup and doing, and we kind of do what we do on stage anyway. So I don't, I can't. I've not even get messing. I have. I can't throw
That
this
was
about.
convenient.
I can't throw this about. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's not going to, the weight's not right. So
Yeah.
realistically, to be able to throw like I'm going to throw on stage, I will use the mic that I'm going to use on stage.
I don't want you to take offence, but is there anger management classes that you've been to, or?
They didn't accept me.
Nah, good stuff.
They
Good
punched the
stuff.
cunt.
I
Yeah.
get knocked back.
Did you say see you next Tuesday, sir?
No.
Oh, I hope you didn't.
I just like to point out that when Johnny lifted that mic up, it was a really questionable shape until it came out of the bluff. It just looked
I
like
know. I'm very
looked like you're
glad
going to show us
with
something. I was like, what are we getting shown here? Like, what's happening?
Look at old mic here as
Look
well.
at that, man. Look at that.
The
What
line
is
6
that?
one. That's my line
Well,
6. Hey,
Ian, I see what you're saying, mate. I see what you're saying.
What? Oh,
that's the line 6 one, the old one. But again, if I had to take it with the blurriness, it doesn't look too great, does it? But that's the old line 6 one, and it's brilliant. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll throw it about. It's magic.
Well, I think I love how you toss it as well. But anyway, I think that's a fitting way to end this interview. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you guys. I know it won't be the last. When you do have something ready to be released, please, we will do this again. Looking forward to so much to seeing you guys on the 19th. It's going to be a fucking blast. And yeah, whenever you're going to have something recorded, you know exactly where I am. Absolute pleasure meeting you guys. Cheers.
Cheers, Ricky.
Thanks, man. Cheers,
Cheers,
guys.
man.
See you on the 19th.